Welcome to the screencast of the Scala programming language. Before we go ahead, the current screencast and the future screencast assume that you do not have any prior programming experience. Just in case, if you have any prior programming experience in languages like C, Java, Groovy, Python, you can go through the screencast at your pace. Feel free to skip as and when we go ahead in the screencast. Now, before we get started, a little bit of background from a very layman's perspective is what is a program. Okay, so we hear a lot about write a program. Okay, so in layman's perspective, a program is a set of instructions that you need to give to the machine to execute them. Now, the set of instructions that the machine understands is in a kind of a very, very, very low level language. You could say a language which is very, very close to a language of zeros and ones. So which means if I tell you to write an instruction to add two numbers, and the instruction is something which is a language of zeros and ones, definitely you would stop programming the next day. So in order that humans can give instructions, or rather write instructions at a high level in a language that humans understand, in a language that humans can read, we have the high level languages. Now, there have been a lot of high level languages. We have seen languages like C, Java, C++, Python, Ruby, Scala, just to name the few. I'm not going to discuss over here as to what are the advantages and disadvantages of each of those languages, but we are going to write the high level instructions that are going to go to the machine in a language that is Scala. Now, in order to write the instructions in the Scala language, we need to have Scala installed on our respective machines. But before you try to install Scala on your machine, there is a prerequisite for installing Scala on your machine is that your machine should have Java already installed, as Scala is a language that interoperates in a kind of an easy fashion with the Java programming language, and it even compiles itself to JVM bytecodes. It has a prerequisite of the Java language being installed, Java environment being installed on your machines. So if you in my machine, the Java has already been installed, and in order just to verify which version of Java do I have on my machine, I echo my Java_home environment variable, and it says that yes, I have the Java 8 version that is installed on my machine. Just to verify, I just see the Java compiler version that I have, that's 1.8, and I see the Java command version that I have, and that too is 1.8. So this is a prerequisite before you even think of installing Scala, is that Java should be installed on your machine. Now, in order to install Scala, we can directly go to the Scala site, which is scalalang.org. It has a very good documentation section. There are the downloads, and just in case if you plan to contribute to Scala, there is this section available for you. So since we need to download the Scala binaries, we go to the download section. In the download section, you can download the Scala binary, be it the Windows operating system or be it any other operating system. The binaries will get downloaded. Now, in order to save the time, I have already downloaded the binary. The binary has been downloaded in the OPD folder. I have downloaded the binary. I have even unzipped. So I have even unzipped the Scala binary. Okay, so this is the folder that you see, that is Scala 2.11.8, and It has the basic folders that is there in every Scala binary. There is the bin folder, which has the various commands that you can use based on the operating system on which you're running Scala. Now, from these commands, there is a command which I would like to take your attention to, and that is the Scala command. Now, the Scala command is definitely used to run a Scala program. It's as simple as that. But our initial use of the Scala command would be primarily to open something called as the Scala interpreter. Okay, so now what is the Scala interpreter? Again, nothing different, but it's basically you write an instruction on the Scala interpreter, or rather I should say that your program consists of a set of instructions. Okay, fine. So which means you write instruction 1, you write instruction 2, you write instruction 3, you write instruction 4, and then you execute your program. Okay, but as a beginner, sometimes it becomes kind of very useful where you would want to write an instruction. You would want to give that instruction to the machine and see what is the output of that instruction. Yes, you would want to write the instruction 2, give the instruction to the machine, and immediately see what is the result of executing that particular instruction. Same, instruction number 3, you would want to write that instruction, give it to the machine, and see the result of executing the instruction number 3. So what am I talking about is a step-by-step execution of the instructions that you would write in your program. Now, for this, the Scala interpreter is a wonderful tool for doing that. So for beginners trying to learn any programming language, the interpreter plays a crucial role, because rather than writing a program of 10 lines, you can write each and every instruction and step by step see the output of the instruction which is there. So let's execute the Scala command and see how does it launch the Scala interpreter. So for that, you can open your terminal. Okay, my terminal is already open. You can open your command prompt, depends upon which operating system you're running Scala. So I can just from a Unix commands perspective, my present working directory is root. I need to go to the directory opt Scala 2.11.8 bin, and inside bin I need to execute the Scala command in order to start the interpreter. So how do I do that? Is I can directly type in the path on my terminal. So that's /opt /Scala 2.11.8. I have the bin folder and I have the Scala command. Alright, so what do we see on the command prompt is the prompt changes to the Scala prompt. That's an indication that you have entered the Scala interpreter, where you can write your instructions one by one and see the result of those instructions. Also, the Scala interpreter gives you some useful information about the binaries that you're using. Is the Scala version that we're using is 2.11.8, and the JVM, the Java version on which Scala is running, as I told you previously, is 1.8. So now, once we are on the interpreter, you can give your instructions. Okay, you can give your instruction and immediately the interpreter will show you the output. You wouldn't even have to ask for the output of those instructions, believe me. So if I go to the interpreter, let's give an instruction to a machine where at the most simplest level I want the machine to perform the addition between two numbers. So say the 5 plus 4. Yes, the machine gives you the result of executing this instruction and the result is 9. Make note of the fact you just wrote an instruction and the machine executed that instruction and even showed you the result of that instruction. So that's the benefit of an interpreter. Yes, you can go ahead and give any further instructions, simple arithmetic instructions that you would want to give to the interpreter. So you have a 4 plus 6 into 4. Okay, so according to your BODMAS rule, that would be 28. Okay, so these are very simple instructions that you have given to the machine from the Scala interpreter. Make note of the fact this is the Scala language in which you have given the instructions, where yes, the Scala language gives you the plus, it gives you the multiplication, and there are many other operators, okay, that the Scala language gives you. Yes, the Scala language even gives you the division operator that you can use to divide two numbers. Now, in order to come out of the interpreter prompt, you can press Ctrl C based on whichever operating system in which you're running the Scala interpreter. Now, every time launching the Scala interpreter with this big path, okay, may get kind of inconvenient. Rather, we should be we should be able to launch the Scala interpreter by just writing the Scala command on our terminal or on our command prompt. So for that, I will add an environment variable. I'll add an OS level environment variable that knows where is my Scala installation, and that also knows where is the Scala interpreter located, which is actually in the bin folder. So for that, I add an environment variable in my Ubuntu operating system. Again, please check the appropriate way of adding an environment variable in your operating system. If it's a Windows, please check how do you add an environment variable in the Windows operating system. So I go ahead, I launch an editor, I edit the file /.bashrc. I edit the bashrc file, I open the bashrc file. There are a range of environment variables that you've seen over there. You can neglect it. I add an environment variable export Scala underscore home equal to the path where the Scala binary is installed or unzipped. So I go to the path, I copy the path, I do not write the path, I just copy the path. Oops, kind of. Okay, so I just copy the path over here, and I come back to my bashrc file, I paste the path. One more environment variable that I give is the path environment variable, so that my command prompt can understand where is the Scala command. So I export path, any existing path environment variable value, I append it. If you check a Windows operating system, the separator between multiple paths may be something else. For Ubuntu, it's a colon. So to any existing path environment variable, I append one more path, that is the Scala underscore home environment variable. I'm referring an environment variable in the next step, so I need to put a dollar. So that's a Scala underscore home environment variable, which is it would take me to the Scala 2.11.8 folder /bin. So that's where my Scala command exists. I close the bashrc file. Now, in order that my environment variable takes effect in the entire system, I do a source on my /bashrc file. Alright, so now just to see whether my environment variable has been applied in the entire operating system or no, I echo one of the environment variables. Yes, one of the environment variables that we created was the Scala underscore home environment variable. Yes, I'm referring an environment variable, so I need to have a dollar over there. That's just from a little bit of Unix fundamentals. And what do I see? Yes, I'm able to see the Scala installation, which is there inside the OPD folder, giving an indication that my environment variables have taken effect at the entire operating system level. Now, after I have set the environment variable, I can just write the command Scala, and yes, it enters the Scala interpreter, where you can get to the business of giving commands or giving instructions to the machine in the Scala programming language. Yes, in order to come out of the interpreter, you can press a Ctrl C and we come out of the Scala interpreter. I hope you enjoyed the screencast, which was the introduction and installation of Scala. Uh, be ready for future screencasts that I would be sharing with you. Thank you.